Hi, my name's Dave Gebhardt. I live in BC, Canada. I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in May of 2017. My type of Parkinson's is more movement related rather than tremors being the predominant symptom. I do get tremors when I'm nervous or emotional, and making these videos makes me a little nervous, so it kind of takes a little bit of time to relax and the tremors will settle down in a minute or two, so I hope you can stick with me. I'm making this video just to pass on a little bit of information about how my life has changed practically since my diagnosis in May of last year. When I mean practical symptoms, I'm talking about, like day-to-day things that happen, scheduling, um, you know, how I go about my daily schedule and how it's worked itself into my life and my work life. So there has been a lot of medical information that I found about Parkinson's disease, but I kind of felt with my research there was a little bit of gap about, how it in fact impacts people on a personal basis. So there are some personal stories out there, but I didn't really find a lot. So I'm making this video to help people understand Parkinson's disease a little bit better. And if you're newly diagnosed, this video might interest you, or if you think you're experiencing symptoms or you know somebody who you think might have Parkinson's disease, this video would probably be good for that group of people. But don't use this video to medically diagnose yourself. It doesn't replace professional medical advice, but I hope that you find it interesting and that you can get something out of it. So the three areas of change in my life that apply to practical situations are medication and food. That's definitely a big one. Maintenance and exercise, definitely another big one. And then kind of knowing your limits, like how far you can push yourself with Parkinson's disease. That's definitely been a big one for me to accept. So the first major change I found was medication and food. And if you are suffering from Parkinson's disease, you're definitely going to encounter medication. And the medication does impact your intake of food. So when I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, my neurologist put me on a medication that's called Cinnamon. It's a levodopa carbidopa concoction that kind of mimics the loss of dopamine in your brain and allows you to function, almost like you're a normal person, almost like you don't have Parkinson's disease anymore. So a big component of that is to space it out from your intake of protein. So I love my peanut butter and jam toast, and I have it every morning before I go to work. It's kind of a routine of mine, but I had to learn to space my breakfast away from my medication because the protein, my doctor said, does affect the performance of the pills, and I agree with that. When I have my toast too close to my medication or my meat and potatoes for dinner too close to my medication, I find that it doesn't perform as well. It became annoying at first, and then, after a while I felt, oh, this is a major bummer because it's interrupting my daily routine. Because of my set of symptoms, I take medication about 5 times a day. So I had to be really careful about how I did that. And now that I understand that, hey, this protein I'm about to eat is going to affect the performance of my pills, I'm a little bit more casual about spacing it out, but at first I felt it was very inconvenient. Another thing was taking your medication on a schedule. I needed to set alarms to remind me to take my medication because at first I was like, no, I don't need to do this. And then a few times I accidentally double dosed because I couldn't remember if I had taken my medication. And while a double dose of cinnamon made me feel really good, I felt I could run a marathon or leap the tallest building. It's probably not a good thing to do on a regular basis because too much cinnamon does cause other problems. So setting alarms was one thing that really helped me remember if I'd taken my medication, because turning off the alarm was another step that I had to do every time, and it's helped me remember that hey, you've taken your medication and don't double dose. The second major practical change in my life was maintenance and exercise. And my job is very physical. I'm an overhead door technician, and I do get a lot of exercise. And I'd be telling my doctor, hey, I'm on my feet, 6 to 8 hours a day. I'm up and down ladders. I'm doing physical work. And they're like, well, no, that's not really enough. You need to get your heart rate elevated, and you need to do specific stretches and exercises. And if you are interested in what I do, I made a video earlier on that shows what type of exercises I do. And if I didn't do these exercises on a daily basis, I don't think I would be able to work anymore, because the exercises really do help me regain a lot of the movement I've lost due to Parkinson's, and it's very important to do them every day. So part of creating a specific exercise routine was finding a good physiotherapist. And I was really lucky because I met a physiotherapist who has 6 years experience working in a Parkinson's clinic, and she was able to help me develop a routine that was specific to my Parkinson's disease. And if you're thinking about an exercise program, I encourage you to talk to a physiotherapist or your doctor, because everyone's set of symptoms is unique to their Parkinson's, and you'll need to develop an exercise routine that is specific to what you need. Another part of this was maintenance of my body. I needed to get regular tune-ups from my physiotherapist. One of the problems I have is my neck gets really tight on both sides, and even though I do a lot of stretches that help that, if I'm not seeing my physiotherapist 1 to 2 times per month, I'm not able to keep up with what the Parkinson's does to that specific area of my body. Everything just kind of gets really, really, really tight, and I need a little bit of help loosening that area of my body on a regular day. Another part is knowing your limits. Hey, how far can I really actually push myself? I'm kind of a person that likes to push myself to the limits on a regular daily basis. And I find my wife is always telling me to slow down, and I'm like, honey, I can do this. And I find if I'm not really listening to my wife or my body does punish me on a regular basis for pushing myself too hard. But honestly, I kind of think that's a guy thing, because when you push yourself, you kind of find that you can dig a little deeper, but I need to understand that I'm not really able to do that as hard as I used to. And mentally, pushing myself mentally is really hard. I have a really hard time with crowds and noisy situations, so I need to be a little bit more cautious than I used to about how I push myself mentally into those situations. And if I push a little bit too hard, my anxiety, which is a part of my Parkinson's disease, kind of spins out of control, and it's very overwhelming, and it throws me off basically for the rest of the day. And it's really frustrating because I'm the kind of person who enjoys crowds and being very social, but those situations are extremely hard to deal with. So, when I think about pushing your limits, if it's kind of prompted a reaction from you, and you feel that there's a situation that you'd like to share with me or share with other people, I encourage you to post a comment and just share about a situation where you've pushed yourself to the limit and how you're dealing with that. It's something I'm really interested in to know about. And if you are comfortable having your comment published, please let me know as well. So in this video, we've talked about 3 changes, practical changes that have happened in my life since Parkinson's disease. Medication and food. So basically, spacing your medication out from your protein. That's something your doctor or another medical professional has probably talked to you about. For me, I've found it's very important to do that because the food does affect my medication quite a bit. Another area was maintenance and exercise. So, just seeing about how your Parkinson's symptoms are affecting your body, and getting specific exercises to help those parts of your body move again, or chase away the tremors. I find that when I am very physical, I'm able to chase the tremors away for a while, which is really nice. But talk to a medical professional about what you need to work on in your situation, and then knowing your limits. Knowing your limits is very important, because if I push myself too hard, my body punishes me, or my emotions and my anxiety flare up, which is not a good situation. So there's a couple more areas in my life I feel that have been affected by Parkinson's, and I'm planning on making a couple other videos in the future. One would be about mental changes, and the other would be about emotional changes. Those are two areas that are definitely different than the person I used to be, but that's okay. I want to be able to enjoy life at whatever stage I'm at with Parkinson's disease, and keeping within understanding my limits will help me do that, and help other people around me be more comfortable with my disease and understand what's going on. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope to see you again in the future. Thanks.